I know like all ball players like to kind of be entertainers, and then all entertainers like to be ball players.
Yeah.
So I was gonna ask you about your
Go hand in hand, don't it?
yeah, for sure, about I guess Wicked East Entertainment.
Yeah, well, we
So
did.
so
Yeah.
tell me about it.
Well, we, and like you said, all ballers tend to, all sports ballers tend to want to be entertainers or rappers and vice versa. That's the common denominator throughout the neighborhood. We know that. That's nothing about. But when you're young and you got assets and opportunity, you just try to figure out ways to kind of be beneficial, but also in ways to make sure you call yourself trying to be business minded and also getting your craft off, showing that what you're about. I'm not only just a basketball player, I'm an entrepreneur. I want to do this, I want to do that. So Keep It Wicked Entertainment with me and a good friend of mine, KD, Kosh Madadi. I mean, we were in an opportunity where we had enough assets and enough brain power to see that Nashville got some talent, and I'm one of the, and it was going into the NBA lockout time, so I knew I was going to have some opportunity to have some free time. But we just wanted to be, instead of having money, just spending money and having fun, we wanted to make sure we put it to good use. And to most of the rappers at the time was our friends and guys that we've been knowing and been real close relationships with. So the music thing wasn't something that was odd to do. It's just, we had the opportunity to jump right in, and he had been around Cash Money Records, and the Cash Money had been in Nashville doing a whole lot of things, so our influences were changing. You know what I mean? Pistol, Cool Daddy, you know what I mean? And Boogie, they were, like I say, they were doing their things, and this was at the time what the next level of wave of who's gonna be next. And then we just wanted to make sure when we started the music, and just like we probably do with the youth kids now, we started with the intent of making sure everybody had opportunity. Because there was some cats in Nashville that we thought were really good and talented that, man, never get heard. I mean, if they don't hear our talent around here, how's anybody going to make it? And it's going back with Young Buck, and then we talking about Big Lou. You talking about these when the early rap Nashville, Quanti Cash. I'm talking about you PJN when there's a lot of, like I said, at that time when, if you know what I'm talking about, guys were trying to break through that wall of success. And we put a lot of money where our mouth was. We're just like the studio we're in now. Unbelievable. It was unbelievable opportunities we had to work in the Quad Studios and some of the studios on Music Row and to record music that we probably knew wasn't going to make $1 million. But I think we got 1 million ears to listen over throughout time with putting all those artists on there. And some of those artists end up having their own careers that end up transpiring them to be, the artists that they became. So the music thing was more of a hobby that turned productive hobby, and also become, if you're dealing with music, if you're dealing with it long enough, you'll find yourself a part of it. And I end up making music for myself and, just trying to be somewhat constructive with the time and money that you did have. And if you've been in the music industry or anything like that, it is put your money where your mouth is. And we did that for a while, and it paid its dividends. It did what it had to do. You have your ups and downs with it. It is not the corporate America. It is not your quote-unquote way of doing things in business, so things do happen to derail your path to success in that. And we had things that happened with the nightclub, with the shooting in the nightclub, where you're always going to be a part of it, which we know I didn't do anything to have involvement, but your involvement is already. And you get to by association in a lot of ways. And the night at the nightclub, it did more than just probably derailed the rap career, just put a negative on my basketball career, because it's at the same time the NBA lockout, and you talking about guns involved and shooting involved, no matter who's guilty or not guilty. Come on, man. And then I'm an inner city kid. I'm already got the reputation of being where I'm from, so I don't need any more marks of negativity on me at the time. And timing was the worst thing that ever happened for an incident like that. Being that you didn't do anything, there was no, what could I do about the situation besides not been there, but I hosted the event, so here we go. And that lesson right there, and that little bit of time right there, just changed my course of, responsibility a little bit. It's around the same time, I end up figuring out if I'm going to try to fight this NBA dream with this baggage, or I'm going to try to get myself in a situation to go make real money right away before those opportunities are few and far between. And I think we were leading up into the overseas stuff. The NBA stuff was I had a good time. I learned everything I needed to know. Went to the playoffs with the Knicks in that rookie year, seen everything Michael Jordan had to offer in the Last Dance documentary. We part of that because we were the second best team in the East at that time. Got traded to Boston, played a little bit, got some chance to show that I could belong in the league. Rick Pitino, if you know that Rick Pitino situation wasn't a delicate situation when he took the job. And I'm part of, if coming out at that time, I just beat them in college, or we beat them in college. So I don't know if our relationship, I don't know what we don't know that. You're always gonna have the negative. You ain't playing, and your surrounding and support are not gonna be in so much support of him. So it wasn't the greatest of smooth of thought process in Boston, but I worked my tail off. I earned every dollar that I made in the NBA. Every time I got on the court, I think they could see that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But I just didn't get enough opportunity to present. But I was resilient enough to not leave so much of a negative on my basketball life that people overseas didn't think highly enough to offer me contracts throughout the last 11, 12 years. I mean, following 11, 12 years after that.
Yeah, no, definitely. Because after the NBA, but before we get y'all had the hardest chains at the time in the Ville. I ain't gonna lie, y'all had a wave. Y'all had a whole wave. Y'all said you put like a lot of money into the
in the community.
Into the community.
We did.
You said recoup some, may not recoup some, but you gave a lot of people in Nashville like $1 million worth of memories
too.
And dreams.
I didn't even really look like. So I didn't. Before you said that, I wasn't even thinking so in depth in it that we really did. I forgot about the real movement. I mean, we really did invest. Like you said, we had the chains that were not cheap chains. These were real deal, expensive chains that these boys were having on their necks around here. We try to make it look in unison with everything we do with our clothing and things. Like, it was a lot going on within our little, I'm gonna call it a rap group, because we really wasn't that. We was more of a family. We was like a community that turned into a family that supported everything that was involved. And like I said, we just wanted to be more than, I guess, what the average person in society would think you would be in that environment. We knew we were from that environment. But we knew we had bigger dreams and we aspired different, and we knew we had college background in a sense too. So we thought we could mold and kind of change the direction of things. And I think it was more about us doing some positive for those who didn't have opportunity to do it positive than really trying to go platinum. I don't think that was our dream either with that. We just knew that that's our homeboy right there. That's a guy that I like his music myself, and who better not to support it than if you like it, then yourself, if you can. And we supported our own. The city supported us. It was probably some of the greatest community music of support through the city that we've had. I don't think the city has been together on a project since like that. I mean, that's every side of town, every kind of
connect to all sides.
We're looking back on it. I definitely wouldn't change that for the world. That doing a lot of positive was done out of that. A lot of positive came out of it. The end result was some things that would never happen again, shouldn't have happened, and everybody laugh about it. Why did it happen? You know what I mean? But it happened. And then to look back and know you scot-free and didn't do anything about it, you can laugh on it. But I took a chunk of negativity and lost quite a bit of money to be made with that situation like that. I don't think everybody else took a bit the loss like I did. Karshma did. My partner did. I know he took a little bit of negativity in public, but when you're talking about on that high scale of corporate America and having a chance to make a living just on your being, I think at that time was just probably devastating that it had to happen while the NBA was at a negative moment in the lockout. You're in your own city, and then those things happen. But it wasn't so bad in the approach and attempt and what we were trying to do. Yeah, we had good intent. A lot of good did happen out. A lot of art, like I said, wouldn't be. And we like to say this, not saying it selfishly, but we're part of Young Buck's success. I mean, for him to come up in his music success, I mean, that's what you want to be, part of someone's path to success. I mean, we're not going to be the reason for it.
Yeah, no, it's part of the path because he was on the journey. Yeah,
and then that time in Nashville was like we was talking about. What were the olden times and the new times? That was that community, that was that family, that was that more of a, we had to be in each other's presence to get this respect and get all our information transferred, versus now you don't even really have a feel for someone these days. You don't have a comfort for them because you can digitally do these things. And like I said, in so many ways that old style of together rap would have been, and together music would have propelled Nashville to what Atlanta ended up being if we'd have stuck to that format. But it's a rat race and not a marathon, and we got a lot of people want to be in this, and I wouldn't just say Nashville. We talking about our own city, but everybody wants to be the first to do it versus to be the one who supports the guy who goes first. And if you don't win, that doesn't mean you can't support. And I think we haven't got all the way around to that comfort of giving my man his roses and pushing and cheering for someone other than myself, even though it may not be no benefit for me. I think if we start doing that as a whole, that intent we had back then, and start pushing some of our guys who are independently good, we'll be behind them even more. You know what I mean?
I definitely agree, because they say the first one over the hill gets the bullet or gets the arrows. I guess it's the saying. So If everybody got down together like they did in the past, it would definitely be because the whole city was at that
pushing
time.
it.
Yeah,
And we didn't have one single artist except, like I said, I think High C and CP. You know what I mean? Where you talking about CP and I mean, they were Eastside Material, but I think we changed their name to Wicked Material to kind of fit the record label. But we didn't have an artist, if you're going to talk about for real. Those two guys kind of motivated the movement part of it to make us go out beyond the whole city support and kind of support a group of our own. But without those two, like I say, without Wicked Material, CP and High C, without those two, we were just pretty much a soundtrack, pretty much a compilation. You know what I mean? Of artists, you know, spitting whatever you want to spit. And we had no, I'm talking about, we really never set out a dialogue or titles or anything. We let those artists give us what you think, you know, not really give us. We paid every artist that was in there. I mean, back then, you know, money wasn't even transferring hands much back then. But we, like I said, we paying everybody involved in studio. We doing things that to this day they probably still don't do. And but everybody involved got took care of. They took care of us. We took care of each other. When the CD came out, we even made sure everybody had enough of the CDs if they wanted to make sure they did something other than, you know, here, you can even make you a few of them off. These are yours, you know. So it just don't work like that. No, the game is a rat race, not a marathon. If I'm first and you don't even make it, I don't even care these days, and I don't understand that at all because in the world that I've grew up in competitive sports, you know, it takes every single one of us from, like I told you when I got on campus, those walk-ons and cats that didn't get in the game, they show you they belong and why they belong. And once you start respecting folks for why they belong and each person for their little gift, man, this thing will be going. And we don't do that so much around here, respect each other for their craft. We rather critique and pull away of what somebody's really good at, you know what I mean, versus giving him credit for what he's good at. You know what I mean? I don't, just the connotation that we have is not fair. And like I say, I've been in it enough to know it is not intentional. It's just kind of how the human nature is. And I'm gonna be a part of the new change. We still talking about, though. I'm really out here, so I got a couple of, you know, people in the community that I watch, and we all benefit off each other's positivity. And if we can keep pushing and pushing, we'll start supporting each other enough to where those who do make it understand the push that they were getting and keep pulling more. And I know I didn't make it by myself. I know if I had X amount of resources at my fingertips at this certain time, certain things would be going a certain way. But maybe then my efforts and my purities wouldn't be as they are too. So here you go.